I don't know where to begin, because every time I try to put this into words I feel like I'm betraying my own mind. It's been months since everything happened, and even now, I wake up some nights drenched in sweat, with that same heavy silence pressing against my ears, as if the walls around me are holding their breath. I keep telling myself that what I saw, what I heard, what I felt, must have been tricks of a stressed mind, the product of sleepless nights and paranoia. But if that's true, why does every reflection I catch in a darkened window look just a little off? Why do I feel like someone is always a half step behind me? Maybe if I tell the story, all of it, I can put it to rest. Maybe then I'll stop feeling like the walls are leaning closer every day. It started after I moved into the house, on Renfield Road. It wasn't much, just a narrow two-story place on the edge of town, half hidden behind a curtain of trees. The rent was unbelievably low, almost suspiciously so. But I was desperate to get out of the cramped apartment I had been stuck in for years. I told myself it was just good luck, that maybe the owner wanted it occupied quickly, and I signed the lease without asking too many questions. The house had a strange stillness about it, the kind of silence that isn't peaceful but rather expectant, as if it were waiting for something. The first few nights, I chalked it up to my imagination, but even then, something about the place gnawed at me. The layout was simple: a living room at the front, a narrow hallway leading to the kitchen, a staircase by the side door, and 2 bedrooms upstairs with a bathroom in between. The previous tenant had left behind almost nothing, just an old wardrobe in the master bedroom and a cracked mirror leaning against the wall. I should have gotten rid of them, but I was broke and didn't care enough to hire someone to haul them away. That mirror, though, it bothered me. It was warped just slightly, so reflections looked stretched in odd ways, like faces melting under heat. I turned it around to face the wall, but every now and then, I could swear I heard a faint creak from that corner, as if something pressed against the glass dot at first. I tried to settle in. I worked long hours, and by the time I came home, I was too tired to notice much. But then the noises started. Small things at first: the sound of footsteps upstairs when I knew I was alone, the click of the bathroom door even though I never closed it. One night I was half asleep on the couch when I heard the wardrobe upstairs creak open. I froze, my body locked in place, ears straining. The sound was followed by a soft thud, like something had dropped onto the floor. I stayed on the couch until dawn, clutching the remote like it could save me. When I finally went upstairs, the wardrobe door was wide open, and on the floor, there was nothing but dust. I tried to rationalize it. Old houses settle, wood shifts, drafts, push doors open, but the excuses got harder to believe. I started noticing small changes around the house, objects not where I'd left them. Lights I was sure I'd turned off still glowing faintly when I returned. One evening I found a glass from the kitchen sitting neatly on my nightstand upstairs, filled halfway with water. I hadn't touched it. The worst part was the dreams. Or maybe they weren't dreams. I'd fall asleep and wake to the sensation of someone standing over me, watching. My body would be paralyzed, my chest heavy, breath caught in my throat. I could feel the air shift as if someone leaned close to my ear, though I never heard words, only that suffocating silence. When I woke fully, the room was always empty. But the mirror, I swear I could hear a faint tapping from behind it. I stopped sleeping in the bedroom after that. I dragged a blanket downstairs and slept on the couch, telling myself it was temporary, that I just needed rest, but even there I couldn't escape it. One night I woke to the sound of water running in the upstairs bathroom. I hadn't used it since moving in. My throat tightened, but I forced myself up, step by step, the stairs creaking under my weight. The bathroom door was closed, steam curling out from the crack beneath it. My hand shook as I reached for the handle, and when I opened it, the room was cold, bone dry, and the faucet was silent. The mirror above the sink was fogged, though, as if someone had just exhaled across it. I started keeping notes, dates, times, everything I experienced. Maybe part of me hoped I could make sense of it, find a pattern. But the more I wrote, the more the entries blurred together. Noises, movements, the constant sense of being observed. My handwriting got messier, more frantic, until one day I found a page I didn't remember writing. It said, in large uneven letters, "Stop looking." That was the night I stopped writing. Sleep deprivation does strange things to a man. I began hearing whispers when I showered, soft murmurs that cut off the second I tried to listen. I saw figures in my peripheral vision, tall and thin, always gone when I turned. I told myself I was unraveling, that it was all in my head. But then there was a night I woke on the couch to the sound of someone breathing directly above me. I opened my eyes slowly, terrified of what I'd see, and caught the faintest outline of a face staring down at me, pale in the dark. I jolted upright, and it was gone. But the cushion beside me was indented as if someone had been sitting there all along. I couldn't take it anymore. I called the landlord, demanding answers. He hesitated, then admitted the last tenant had left suddenly, claiming the place was too noisy. When I pressed him, he got defensive and hung up. That was all I needed to know. I wasn't the first, and I wouldn't be the last. I should have left. God, I should have packed my things and walked out that night. but I didn't. Something about the house held me there, a sick pull I can't explain. It felt like leaving wasn't an option, like the house itself wouldn't let me. Every time I tried, something stopped me: a dead car battery, sudden storms, excuses I made to myself. The final night, at least, the last one I remember clearly, was worse than all the rest. I had drifted into uneasy sleep on the couch when I woke to footsteps descending the stairs. Slow, deliberate, one after another. I sat frozen, heart hammering, as the sound grew louder, closer. I couldn't see into the hallway from where I sat, but I knew if I looked, I'd see something standing there. The footsteps stopped just out of sight. I don't know what possessed me, but I called out, "Who's there?" My voice cracked. Silence. Then, a whisper, so soft I almost thought I imagined it. "You." Every muscle in my body locked. I didn't move, didn't breathe. The silence stretched until my ears rang with it. Finally, I forced myself to look. The hallway was empty. But the mirror at the top of the stairs, though I had turned it against the wall, was now facing me. I ran. I don't even remember making the decision. I just bolted out the front door into the cold night air, barefoot and shaking. I stayed at a friend's place after that, and when I went back weeks later in broad daylight to grab the last of my things, the house looked perfectly ordinary. Too ordinary, like it had swallowed every trace of what happened. The mirror was gone. I tell myself I imagined it all, that the house fed on isolation and my tired mind spun horrors into the silence. But sometimes, late at night, I hear footsteps in my own hallway, slow and deliberate, one after another. And sometimes, when I glance into a darkened window, I see a reflection that doesn't quite match my own. And in those moments, I wonder if I ever really left that house at all.